uh, and began squeezing the life out of him with his bare hands till he had shut off every drop of oxygen from entering his condemned body. Releasing the kid's neck, he exhaled as satisfaction replaced his anger. Reaching down, he opened the bag containing the drugs and jewelry that was next to Peanut. Son of a bitch, he mumbled as he stared at his drugs. Boss, one of his men, said, entering the room. We searched the house and we found this in the bathroom's roof. Handing the bag to Paco, who looked inside it, and then began pulling out stacks of money, collecting his 100 grand in stolen cash, then throwing the remaining cash into Loyalty, what looked to be about double what Paco had just took out. Here, that's for you and your team, he said, as he noticed Loyalty was too busy looking at his phone, wearing a worried expression to show any signs of excitement about the money. You okay? He said, realizing what was troubling him. He cleared his throat, then ordered everyone out of the house. Let's go, he said, before the people get here. Loyalty. Thank you, nephew, he said, as they all made their exit and far away from the deadly scene as possible. Once in the car, Paco went for his phone, ready to cancel the order to snatch the girl. He noticed the text from Blackie, and his heart sinks. What could be so important, he thought? If you say you got the girl, then what the fuck's the emergency? I don't get it, he ranted as he immediately called the idiot. Hey, boss, we have a problem. Problem? What kind of a problem? I don't follow. It's the girl. What about the girl? You know what? Never mind. Forget about it. I'm on my way, he said, disconnecting the call. He arrived at the warehouse 15 minutes later. He was pissed. His man met him outside with their heads low. He knew something was up. I'm sorry, boss, Blackie instantly began to tell of how the once beautiful how the once beautiful tale of how the once beautiful apple was no more, tortured to death inside the warehouse. Paco couldn't believe his ears as he began to catch an extreme case of heartburn and dizziness. You okay, boss? Blackie asked him. I'm fine, you fucking idiot. Get your damn hands off me. Show me the girl, he snapped as Blackie and 6 of his men led him into the warehouse where Apple was sitting strapped to a chair, half naked and bleeding, obviously tortured. Boss, but before Blackie could finish his sentence, boom, blood and brains everywhere as he told it to the floor. You, Paco sparked, pointing at Blackie's nervous partner. Yeah, boss, what the fuck happened to the girl? And so he listened as the goon told him of the events taking place from the time that they snatched her up. Ay, idiota, Paco snapped as he unleashed a few frustrated kicks upon Blackie's corpse. Clean this shit up. Remove all traces of the girl and torch everything. Then report back to me when done, and no one, I mean no one, speaks a word about this day. Menendez, Senor, his henchmen, snapped to attention as they began scurrying about to carry out the boss's orders. Loyalty would kill him for this shit for sure if word of his involvement ever got back to him or the crazy pack of bitches he ran with. Ay, Dios míos, I need a fucking drink, Paco thought as he drifted out of the warehouse and into the comforts of his luxury armored SUV, where he quickly poured himself a shot of bourbon in an attempt to calm his nerves. Think, Paco. Think, he thought, as his driver pulled off. Fuck, Loyalty shouted at no one in particular. Something was wrong. Something was definitely amiss. This wasn't like Apple, or any of them for that matter, to go dark for this damn long. Plus, Loyalty just had this feeling in the pit of his stomach that something wasn't right. He knew one thing. If something happened to Apple, them Southsider punks were gonna get it. They ain't never pulled no janky shit like this before, but times are hard out here in these trenches. Maybe they had a change of heart. Nah, ain't a motherfucker alive crazy enough to touch her shit, he thought, throwing the phone to Stormy in the front seat as the 745 sped down the freeway far away from Peanut's spot and en route to Bellflower to go see about their girl. I swear to God, bros, Mina shouted, getting hype again. If these niggas try to jack my girl, bro, I'm telling you it's gonna be murder, she ran it. Calm down and chill, yo, Macy said from the driver's side as she whipped that bitch fearlessly down the highway. She didn't even notice how bright red her knuckles were from gripping the steering wheel so tight. She was very sick about Apple. She could never go this long without tapping in with them. Something was definitely wrong, and they were going to get to the bottom of this, starting with the last motherfucker they know to have seen her. Chico. Ah, ah. Okay, please stop, please. You have to pull me up. I'll tell you anything, Chico screamed in fear at the sight of the 100 feet drop towards the flat concrete that dangled below him as he was hung upside down by Loyalty and his crew for God knows what. He would never cross Apple or a crazy ass crew, which is why he couldn't for the life of him understand why they were treating him like a pinata and accusing him of some shit to do with his big prima being MIA. Shut your fat ass up, Chico, Mina said as she slapped her cousin across his belly. Ah, he screamed in agony. Prima, it's me, Shorty, he begged as his pleading eyes roamed from one of his cousin's face to the next, receiving nothing but death stares in return as his eyes finally fell on Loyalty's. Where's Apple? No sabes, man. She left me at the meet at least a couple of hours ago. Then told me she'd be in touch with Abuelito when she was ready to make the exchange. But since then, nada, Holmes. I swear she left me hours ago. Why would I lie about this? He cried, looking back and forth between each other. The team silently exchanged worried looks as shit wasn't making any sense. Listen here, you enormous piece of shit, Mina said as she and the team began pulling Chico fat ass back up from dangling over the freeway. Once safely back on the ground, she quickly whipped her piece out and smacked him across the face with it. Look at me, puto. Mina spat at Chico. Mírame. You have 24 hours to return Apple, nigga, and our dope, or we will dismantle your little band of buddies, and I will personally slit your fucking throat and rip your freaking slimy spine out your body. Escúchame? You hear me? She screamed at it, whimpering Chico as they cut him loose and began climbing into the BMW. Wait! Chico yelled behind him as he was met with squealing tires and rubber smoke as Macy floored the foreign off into the night. But how am I supposed to? His words trailed off as he hung his head low, letting his thoughts wander back to the mall's parking lot and the suspicious van he had caught a glimpse of tailing his prima when she dropped him off at the car. He didn't think anything was wrong about the scene before because he knew when one of Apple or their team moved, another was always trailing or not far behind. So he thought at first that the fan was maybe just her security playing in the shadows, but now with the way her team was acting, he knew something more serious was at play, and he had somehow found himself in the middle of it, right in the deadly crosshairs of this unstable ass crew. All he knew was he had 24 hours to find out whatever he could about the occupants of that van, and he knew right where to start. He smirked as he pulled himself together and began walking down the vacant freeway in search of a phone. What the fuck, bros? Macy softly stated, breaking the silence that had filled the car. Where's our girl, bro? Pull over, Stormy said, pointing at a convenience store's parking lot. What? Macy asked. I said, pull over, Stormy yelled. Okay, geez, commentate. Wait, she responded as she slowly eased their way off the road and into the store's parking lot area where she parked and killed the engine. No one said anything as Stormy rubbed her temples deep in thought. Bzzz, bzzz. Looking down at her cell phone vibrating in her lap, her heart skipped a few beats as Apple's face popped up on her display screen. Hello, Apple? She yelled into the phone. Damn, bitch, where the fuck you been at? We been worried sick about your ass. Where are you? Hello? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to? An unfamiliar male voice came back over the phone as a stunned Stormy stared back into the worried faces of her crew, with shock written all over her face. What's wrong, Chica? Mina asked her. She okay? Who is this? Who is this? Stormy replied. And what are you doing on my cousin's phone? I'm sorry. My apologies. Now, where are my manners? Hello, my name is Detective Roberts, and click. Stormy quickly hung up her phone and began to open up the back and remove the SIM card and battery as Loyalty calmly asked her what was wrong. What's good, ma? Don't panic. Just talk. The police, they got Apple. What? What are you talking about? They just called me from her phone. Why the fuck you hang up? He asked her. You should have at least seen what was going on first. Hook the phone back up, mommy. If they got her phone, Loyalty, then that can only mean one thing. Stormy snapped. She's dead. Macy softly finished for her. Everyone knew Apple was a soldier, just like them. They'd hold court in the streets first before some cracker's playroom, where their legal system is known to fry niggas on the regular. Stormy was right. They all silently thought. The only way they would possibly have her phone is if foul play was involved, and they pried it from her dead cold fingers. She would have never let it out of her sight any other way. Snapping the SIM card and battery back into the phone, she repowered the device and was immediately met with Apple's face once again. Answer it, Mina urged her as Stormy loudly exhaled the breath she'd been holding and pressed the accept button. Sorry about that. It's just that. Why do you have her phone? She snapped at the detective once again. It's okay, Mrs. Nobody. I am nobody. Nobody. Yeah, that's what I said. And until you give us some answers, that's what the fuck it's gonna be. Okay, fair enough, Detective Roberts replied. You said, us. I did, Stormy stated. Her family. Okay, and this person Apple you mentioned, would this be whose phone I am calling you from? Maybe. You the fucking police. Shouldn't you know this already? Stormy said. Well, Mrs. Nobody, here's what I know. I get called to a homicide scene a few hours ago. Homicide, Stormy screamed into the phone nervously. Well, here's what I got so far. Witnesses account of a female driving a dark blue newer model Lexus stopped at an intersection when an unidentified black SUV pulled up alongside of the the door comes open, out comes Boom. The first press makes it to the window, smashes it with something heavy, maybe the end of a gun. This woman, Apple you call her, she gets the drop on the guy. She pops and he goes down. Before she can do anything, the second person hits with what witnesses believe was a taser gun, immobilizing her and taking her from the car. Then poof, quick as they arrived, they vanished. End of story. Now I have a stiff, a missing victim, a bullet-riddled car, crime scene plus no leads except for you, Mrs. Nobody. I need your help filling in some blanks for me about your friend. So maybe we can find some direction in getting her back safely. But I don't know anything. Of course you do. Listen, I have your number. I'll hit you up later. I'm not coming to no fucking police station. Okay, then we'll do lunch. I'll be in touch, Mrs. Nobody, Stormy whispered into the phone before disconnecting the call. Everyone just sat in stunned silence, staring at each other as their brains registered everything the detective had just said. I'm gonna fucking kill him, Macy blurted, referring to her cousin Chico's fat, sneaky ass. He lied to them. The detective never mentioned the dope Apple had to have had with her. Chico double-crossed her and his men were in the van that made the move on Apple and the drugs minutes after their meeting. I'm gonna kill this nigga again after you kill him, Nina said as Loyalty finally spoke up. Macy, find us a room near here for the night. We need to eat and rest. I need to think. Minutes after the pack was piling into the twin bed flat, they copped at a Motel 8 for $200 from some slum desk clerk offering discretion and ID validity, exceptional options, and discounts. Ugh, oh yeah, Stormy purred as she stretched her body out across one of the beds, plopping down around her. Everyone else begins to get comfortable and lost in their thoughts as the days swirled their body began to surface. Finally, after a good half hour of silence, Loyalty was the first to speak. Alright, look, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I know this for sure. Whoever's responsible for snatching up apples, he gonna get it. They had to have knew this shit. Yeah, they still executed the snatch. So either we're dealing with some stupid suicidal babies or a couple of higher professionals who just don't give a fuck and are following orders. That's right, Mina interjected, adding her 2 cents. It's gotta be Chico or Mr. Swiss Cheese on fucking self. Paco, she slowly stated, looking around the room at her crew, but stopping on Loyalty, looking him directly in his eyes. What? Paco, Stormy said, exchanging confused looks with Macy. What is she talking about? They asked Loyalty, who was staring intensely back at Mina. Seriously. Come on, bros. Don't look at me like that. Like I'm some naive little girl who just got a double jeopardy question correct. We're no fucking dummies. I've been paying attention. It's obvious Paco's been suspicious of everyone, including us, since we hit they fucking stupid ass. And not to mention, she was snatched. She wasn't eliminated. She's possibly alive in some dirty ass basement being beaten and questioned. In theory, though, Loyalty whispered. Wow. Well, when were you two going to fill the rest of this in on y'all suspicions? After we murdered Chico and his boys for answers? Listen, Mommy, Nina shot back at him. Paco's just a possible, nothing concrete. We just throwing shit around. Same as Chico.